on the Black Radar YouTube channel. Please consider subscribing to show your support.
Hi, I'm glad you waited. Mr. Farrakhan on the line. Hello.
Hello. I want to know why you, a bleeding heart liberal like you, gives an open forum to an anti-Semite bigot like this man, who should be stifled and hung, not given time on the air by somebody like you who's supposed to be a bleeding heart liberal.
Yeah, me?
Yes, you're supposed to be a bleeding heart liberal. You
Yeah.
give an anti-Semite like that airtime
Right.
so that he can have a prayer platform to speak from?
Yeah. What will happen as a result of my inviting Mr.
What will happen? You have infuriated a race of people. You have given an open forum to a bigot.
And he shouldn't be allowed on media.
No, I'm not saying stifle all people. Stifle Hitlers that are get forums, and that's how you have thousands of
don't
people
you think-
thrown into crematoriums.
Yeah, but isn't it useful to know?
We know. We've seen
You
him.
do know.
We've
Oh.
heard him. We've
All right.
heard his...
How
we've
did you
heard him.
know? How do you know?
How do you know? Listen to the man.
Well,
He's
but you
an
wouldn't be able to if I
He's
followed your
also
instructions.
killing
That's the
people.
point. I don't feel real comfortable engaging this woman in a verbal joust because I appreciate her feeling. You know, this skirting with dirty religion, gutter religion, hurts deeply, deeply the people who lost loved ones at the hand of using words like great and then trying to explain it. You must have some pang of conscience for inflicting that kind of emotional pain on the people who felt the Holocaust.
I wonder, Mr. Donahue, what pangs of conscience do white people feel for inflicting the atrocities on black people that have been inflicted on us ever since our fathers were brought into this country?
These people are saying... But these white people are saying not guilty.
She's calling me a bigot and a racist and an anti-Semite. Are Arabs Semitic people?
Here comes the
Are Arabs Semitic people? And if Arabs are Semitic people,
so what?
And I am
let's change it.
supposedly pro-Arab, how can I then be anti-Semitic?
How about anti-Jewish?
Are Jews the only Semitic people?
What's
Please.
your point?
That's a racist statement. For me to be accused of being anti-Semitic,
How would you
that's
feel
a
about?
racist
How do you
statement.
feel about the accusation that you are anti-Jewish?
I'm not anti-Jewish. What would make me anti-Jewish? There are 800,000 Jews who do not agree that the state of Israel is the fulfillment of divine prophecy.
And there are several.
Are they anti-Semitic?
And there are several 100,000 Muslims who do not believe you are in any way a spokesman for the Nation of Islam.
But that's
now
fine.
what? Now what?
That's fine.
So why isn't it fine? Are you saying that Jews will not be acceptable to you until they all march like wooden soldiers agreeing in...
I didn't say that.
It sounds like
I did not say that. I said 800,000 Jews agree with my position. Are they anti-Semitic?
All right. Okay. Hang on a moment. Yes, ma'am.
I just have to say that maybe Hitler did some good things, but all one has to do, in your opinion, he may have been great. In my opinion, I'm not Jewish, but I have had the opportunity, and I say opportunity, to go to a concentration camp, and tears will just flow. I don't care what religion you are. It is so sad, the injustices that were done.
I
This
agree.
can't
I agree
happen
with you,
again.
miss.
Okay.
That human suffering is sad no matter who is suffering. We don't control NBC, ABC, and CBS, so our story, the story of the Black Holocaust, has never really been told. Roots did a fairly decent job of trying to tell our story. But if we told our story, like Jews have been able to tell their story, a brass monkey would shed tears over what blacks have suffered in this country.
Mr. Farrakhan, if I understood you correctly, you said a Muslim is one who's committed to do the will of God.
That's correct.
Then I am your sister, and the Jewish race are committed to do the will of God. You have to fight for us, and you have to fight for 97% of the population, and you're not.
May I respectfully say to you, the Quran teaches us that all those that are Jews or Sabians who believe in Allah in the last day, they have their reward with their Lord. I cannot be against a Jew if that Jew believes in God and practices the principles of righteousness. That's what I believe in. So in that sense, you would be my sister in faith. But now, what about the Palestinians who have lost their homeland, who have lost their lives, trying to defend a homeland that is theirs? Some Orthodox Jews say that a Zionist cannot be a Jew, and a Jew cannot be a Zionist. So now, is Zionism the real problem and not Jews?
And
what is the problem?
And some Palestinians support Yasser Arafat and some don't. What's the point? Does this mean, therefore, no piece of real estate should ever be granted to them? No piece of real estate should ever be granted or be claimed by Israel?
The real estate that was to be granted to the suffering Jews was to be granted to them on the coming of the Messiah. Those persons that set up the state of Israel were not believers in God. Okay. Herzl didn't believe in God. Right. He's not a believer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ben-Gurion didn't believe in God. So technically they're not Jews.
All right. Okay.
I just have to, no, there's no battle and no speech, but I'm sitting here and listening to this, and I'm getting very upset. You are obviously a very erudite, intelligent, learned man, and you're using that to twist facts. What bothers me is not the Jews and the Catholics or anything. What bothers me is your lack of you are in a position of power, and you're using it in a negative way instead of a positive way. Your lack of responsibility bothers me.
You know, I must...
Let me try here for 1 second. He may not say this, but here's the disquieting part of this. The nice guys don't have any power. And he has more and more people showing up at more and more rallies saying, I've had it. I've had it. I marched, I sang, we shall overcome, I did all that stuff, and look where I am.
Why are they showing up like this? It is because those in positions of power that were white have misused their trust and their responsibility. I am not misusing power. I'm not advocating that blacks riot. I'm not advocating that they stick up. I'm not advocating that they kill white people. I'm not advocating that they break the law. I'm advocating that we unite and pool our resources to change the conditions under which we live. What is so improper about that responsible use of power?
Okay. What's improper is the fact that you're not saying directly, you didn't say you were going to kill Coleman directly, but by using inflammatory words, you are creating an image. That's the point.
I think you have a responsibility.
The television created the image.
Mr. Farrakhan, I've heard an awful lot about this power movement. Would you explain what that means in detail so that the public...
And just a little detail. It's an hour.
Well, power is an acronym that stands for people organized and working for economic rebirth. We do not believe, sir, that black people should continue to depend on whites to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. We believe that a lot of the responsibility must rest firmly on our own shoulders. We should turn that production power back into our own hands, build our own schools, our own factories, employ our own people. This would make a stronger black people. It would make a stronger America if blacks were allowed to do so.
Is the caller there? Hi.
Yes, I am.
I don't have a lot of time. Go ahead.
Phil?
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to make a statement in reference to your guest today. He is the most hypocritical call of himself a minister, sitting up there with his bodyguards. If he's so godly and holy, why did he need bodyguards? Also, he was the downfall of Reverend Jesse Jackson with his big mouth.
Well, I thank you for your call, ma'am. The Pope has bodyguards, and he is His Holiness. So if the Pope can have his, and the President can have his, and the Mayor can have his, in a society like this, when people disagree with your position, they will take your life. I think it's an act of wisdom on my part to watch while others pray. Now, as far as Reverend Jackson is concerned, most whites didn't agree that he didn't have a chance in the beginning. So I could not have been a downfall to a man that you never gave a chance to become a black president of the United States. So my words were used to hurt Reverend Jackson, because this country was not ready to see a true rainbow coalition of black, brown, red, yellow, and white people who are interested in changing the political landscape of this country.
And
I would welcome that. Yes, I would.
You would welcome what? I'm sorry, you would? You would like to see a rainbow?
I would like to see a rainbow coalition, and I would like to see Mr. Farrakhan's bodyguards in it, and I would like to see these Jewish ladies in it, and I would like to see it really happen. But I don't think it's going to happen with the rhetoric that you're using. I don't think it's not productive.
And what would you say to the people who say it's not happening when with the people who don't make us angry?
I think it happened. I think Jesse Jackson was making it happen.
You know, let me just a real good example. The Klan membership is apparently, we have a lot of people scared out there. And I mean, they've got kids with the little uniforms and that will get larger if white people don't condemn it.
That's right.
All right.
You're right.
Now, in the age at this moment in the history of our republic, with Clarence Pendleton, we don't want any quotas, with everybody claiming to have a brother-in-law who didn't get a job because a black guy got it, with unemployment being as high as it is, in an age like this, it's easier not to say anything.
I happen to be one of the people that say something.
It sounds like you do. But how do you feel about my what I'm saying?
I feel there should be quotas, and I feel that I feel that the white race owes the black race a lot. I'm one of these people that feels that that's the way life is. Life is.
Okay.
You pay for the mistakes of your ancestors, and you have to accept it. That is life.
But you are in the minority on that position.
Nevertheless, I mean, where did I come from? Where does my opinion come from? It comes from listening to people like Jesse Jackson, not from listening to people like this guy.
What troubles you most about his rhetoric? What is it that troubles you most?
I think it's counterproductive. He polarizes people instead of bringing them together.
Yes. May I please respond? You know, black folk need to be brought together.
Black people, yes.
We need to be brought together so that our moral voice can be heard in this country. It's wonderful to talk about blacks and whites together, but Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. So neighbor love is predicated on self-love. You will agree with me that the black community is destructive of itself. And somebody needs to teach black people to love themselves, to love each other, to come into unity with each other. So, wait just a minute.
And calling Judaism a dirty religion enhances
I never said that. There again, Mr. Donahue, you are repeating the lies that have been told about me. Let me say this. If the white American public had a chance, and this is why I enjoy being on your show, Mr. Donahue, because it does give me a chance to express myself before the American public. You get a chance to hear me and to see me and to reason with me. And if we could set aside what the press has said, you listen to what I say and judge what I say, then will your judgment be the same?
But that's what everybody in power says. If it weren't for the press, all my speeches would be reported in entirety, and you would know what wisdom I have. That is not the way the system is ever going to work.
This system is not designed to work like that. It's true.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.